day, everyone. You are welcome to another episode of my law class at Abdullahi Legal Academy. My name is Abdullahi Adebayo Abdurrauf. Today, the topic that we shall be discussing is who is a lawyer. Before we go into the lesson, if this is your first time here, I will urge you to subscribe to this channel and also press the notification button so that whenever we release any other videos, you will be one of those that will be personally notified. And also like and share this video, and also make use of the comment box for interaction between you and I. Without any further hindrance, let's go into the lesson. The legal profession is one of the professions in Nigeria, among others. We have the medical profession, we have the teaching profession, we have the engineering profession. Also, we also have legal profession. And the legal profession encompasses those that are practicing law. Now, who is a lawyer? The question may only be asked by what the law has prescribed for us about who a lawyer is, and this can only be gotten from the laws that regulate the conduct of the legal practitioners in Nigeria, which is the Legal Practitioner Act of 1975, the Rules of Professional Conduct 2007, which is RPC. These two laws and other subsidiary legislations that comes out of it. Now, if we are to define who a lawyer is in Nigeria, we are to go by the definition that are given in these legislations, and it is through it that I would like to analyze and explain who a lawyer is to you throughout the course of this lesson. Before I go further, I would like to inform you that this is my notebook for this class, and this is my chalkboard for this class, and I will be giving you the illustration on my chalkboard, which I will be showing through my notebook here. Now, before I start the explanation, I would like to firstly do justice on some three misunderstood words, which are lawyer, barrister, and legal practitioner. These three words are usually misunderstood by the people, most especially those that have nothing to do with the area of law. It is always misunderstood by them that a lawyer is a person who knows the law. Just that you know the law makes you to be a lawyer. And a barrister and legal practitioner are those people that usually go to court, maybe to represent their client or to do some other business in court or whatever. This is what people think about barrister and legal practitioner. But that of lawyer, how people do think about it is quite different from how it is exactly in the real sense, in the professional sense. Now, look at the illustration on my chalkboard. I will be reading the text from my notebook here. The three words mean the same thing, as in a lawyer is a barrister, and at the same time, he is a legal practitioner. The three words are synonymous to one another. A person who is a lawyer is also a barrister, and at the same time, he is also a legal practitioner. But how people misunderstood it, I will later come to that to explain how people misunderstood the word lawyer, the single word lawyer, how people have misunderstood it in our society today. I will later come back to explain that later. Let's go further. In the Rules of Professional Conduct 2007, which serves as the rule and regulation for the legal practitioner in Nigeria, the word lawyer was used more than 130 times, pointing to a person who is practicing law. The word was used alongside barrister and solicitor, legal practitioner, and barrister at law. When we check into the Rules of Professional Conduct 2007, if we read it from the first section to the last section, we will observe that the places where the word lawyer was mentioned are more than 130 times as compared to barrister and as compared to legal practitioner. This alone has given us an impression that a lawyer is also a barrister and solicitor, and at the same time a barrister at law, attorney at law, or whatever it is called in the area of law. Now, to cap it all, Rule 40, Sub-Rule A and B of the Rules of Professional Conduct provides that a lawyer may print his qualifications and titles, including the words barrister and solicitor, legal practitioner, attorney at law, etc., on his note papers, envelope, or visiting card. If we check into Rule 40, subrule A and B of the Rules of Professional Conduct 2007, we will find that it gives a person that is practicing law the right and privilege to add this title to his name. Some title like barrister at law, barrister and solicitor, attorney at law, and all other titles ascribed to a lawyer. Now, let's now take for instance, now, a person is a lawyer. It means that such a person is also a barrister at law, is also a barrister and solicitor, is also an attorney at law. All these words are synonymous according to the Rules of Professional Conduct that was made in year 2007. If we now move to Rule 56 of the Rules of Professional Conduct 2007, what does it say? It says that lawyer means a legal practitioner as it has been defined in the Legal Practitioner Act. Do not forget that I have made mention of Legal Practitioner Act before I go further into my lesson. The Legal Practitioner Act of 1975 is the law that gives power to other subsidiary legislations that emanate from it. And out of the subsidiary legislation that come out of the Legal Practitioner Act of 1975 is that of the RPC, Rules of Professional Conduct, that was made in 2007. Another subsidiary legislation that came out of the Legal Practitioner Act is that of Senior Advocate of Nigeria Function and Privileges Rule of 2004. All these emanate from the Legal Practitioner Act of 1975. And in this Legal Practitioner Act of 1975, the word lawyer has been defined by the law. And this is what the Rules of Professional Conduct is referring to according to its Rule 56, that if we want to know who a lawyer is, we should refer back to the Legal Practitioner Act of 1975 and go into how the Legal Practitioner Act of 1975 explains who a lawyer is to us. Now, let's now go into Legal Practitioner Act of 1975 and see how the word lawyer was defined. But before you go into the Legal Practitioner Act to see how the word lawyer was defined, I want to explain here that a lawyer can never be just because a person is a law student or a person is a law graduate. You cannot be a lawyer because you are a law graduate. If you are calling yourself a lawyer and you are still in school or you just graduate from university, you are just doing something that is harmful for yourself because it is a crime, and it is a crime that is jailable under the law. It is because you are qualified to practice law that makes you to become a lawyer. When we are explaining further, all these things will be unraveled step by step so that we will understand who a lawyer is and who is not a lawyer according to the context of Nigeria. And another point is that once a person gains admission into university to study law, immediately after he fulfill all the requirements for him to bag a degree in law, when he's being given his degree certificate, he will be awarded with the title LLB. The full meaning of LLB is Legum Baccalaureus. Legum Baccalaureus is a Latin word. It means Bachelor of Laws. And let me tell you this, even if a person has been awarded with LLB, it does not even make a person to be qualified to be called a lawyer. You are not yet a lawyer. You are just a law graduate if you have LLB. You are just a law graduate. In the social media or anywhere you can hear about it today, there are some people that people usually call lawyer just because they had some times ago that they studied law in school or whatever. There are some celebrities like that that studied law in the school. Even though they study law in school and they graduate, it does not make them to be qualified to be called a lawyer. They are not yet lawyers because they have not gone through other processes to go through before such a person can be awarded with the title of a lawyer. So now, how does the Legal Practitioner Act of 1975 define the word lawyer? This will take us into section 23 of the Legal Practitioner Act. The section 23 of the Legal Practitioner Act stated that legal practitioner is a person entitled, in accordance with the provision of this act, to practice as a barrister or as a barrister and solicitor. If you can see it through my chalkboard here, you will see that I had ellipsis, meaning that I have not copied the word in full. I just stopped somewhere. So I will urge you to also obtain a copy of Legal Practitioner Act and check section 23 of it so that you will know so that we have the full gist of what the Section 23 of the Legal Practitioner Act of 1975 is talking about. Before I go further here, let's join the two things together. The RPC was talking about a lawyer, and they said that a lawyer is a legal practitioner. Now, who is a legal practitioner? This is what the LPA, the Legal Practitioner Act of 1975, is now trying to tell us. It now says, according to its Section 23, that a legal practitioner is a person that is entitled to practice law in accordance with what? With the provision of this act. Meaning that a person can only be qualified to practice as a lawyer in Nigeria in accordance only with how the Legal Practitioner Act of 1975 as what? Has brought it for us. And what does the Legal Practitioner Act says for that? Now look at the chalkboard. According to Section 2, Subsection 1 of the Legal Practitioner Act, LPA, a person shall be entitled to practice as a barrister and solicitor if, take note of that, if and only if his name is on the roll. If a person's name is not on the roll, that means that he's not yet qualified to be a legal practitioner, he's not yet qualified to be a lawyer, he's not yet qualified to be called a barrister and solicitor, and at the same time is not yet qualified to be called an attorney at law or a barrister at law, if and only if his name is on the roll. That is what the law says. So by now you should have understood that not just because a person is being called the law in your neighborhood, that will now make such a person to be qualified as a lawyer. No, that's not the case. Anybody that his name is not on the roll, he is not qualified, he is not entitled to practice law in Nigeria. If you are not qualified to practice law in Nigeria, that means that you are not a lawyer, you are not a barrister, you are not an attorney at law, you are not a solicitor, you are not you are not a barrister at law. Now, what is this role? This role is a register that the name of everybody that is a lawyer in Nigeria is written. Anybody that you see in Nigeria today has his name on this roll. Once a person's name is no more on this roll, that means that the person is no more a legal practitioner in Nigeria. And how can a person get his name to be written on this roll? Are there some people that will never have their name written on this roll? And is there any way by which a person's name may be struck out of this roll? I will be explaining that in the next lesson, which is called How to Become a Lawyer in Nigeria. Do not forget that you are on an episode of my law class at Abdullahi Legal Academy. My name is Abdullahi Adebayo Abdurrauf. I'm very grateful to you for watching this lesson from beginning to the end. Till another time that you and I have been meeting in this law class, I wish you a legal day ahead.